Okay, so today we're keeping on our little tier list arc, and we're gonna be ranking every Overwatch 1 kind of. There's probably a few missing, but a lot of the Overwatch 1 metas. I might do an Overwatch 2, maybe, but for now, there's Overwatch 1. And for those of you who only started playing into, who have only started playing into or didn't play much of one, then you probably won't understand a couple of these, but that's fine. I will give you all a little history lesson. So yeah, let's get started. We have 5 tiers. We have a great time. It's always kind of fun, usually fun, tolerable, pain, and why did I even get on, for times that make you think, why did I get on this game? Okay, let's start off. Ball Diva. It was a fine meta. It wasn't too overpowering. Like, you wouldn't ever feel, unless it was like a really good ball or like a really good diva, you never felt like you couldn't do anything to stop them. It was a fine meta. Was it fun? Depends on the person, I guess. It was tolerable. It was fine. Ball Sig. Again, if you had a really good ball, it'd be like here, but a lot of the ball players weren't like too oppressive, so it was fine, tolerable. Beyblade. Pretty much, you just built your team around this combo. I think you had on a Reaper, obviously, then you had a Lucio for the speed boost. Although I guess in Overwatch 2 would probably be a bit easier because you have Kiriko. So yeah, but again, it was fine. Like, if you saw what team comp they were doing, it was kind of easy to tell that they were doing this. So if you just went like Diva or Ana, pretty much just anyone who can kind of cancel the ult, it kind of made the entire combo useless. So it wasn't that bad, but if it worked really well. So again, it was fine. Brawl. I love Brawl, especially in Overwatch 1. It was a lot of fun. I think, personally, I'm going to drop a quick take. I think the game is most fun when Ryan is meta. It's because Ryan's a fun character. He's no hog. He's no ball. He's no Doom. He's not a character that just feels awful to go against. So I think when Ryan is a meta and team comps are made around him, it's always a fun time. And the play style, it's just engaging. It's not just sat in one spot just firing. So yeah, Brawl, great time. Bunker. So back in Overwatch 1, it was called Bunker because A, Orisa had a barrier, and B, because Bastion couldn't move, wall and all. He had to stay still in turret form, but he could stay still as long as he wanted. And plus, he had a self-heal. How fun. It was pain. It wasn't fun to go against, especially if you comboed it with double a bit barrier. Nope, not fun at all. Although these two are kind of a meta right now, but I'd say this was probably more annoying, honestly. Classic Rush. Always a great time. I think Ryan Zarya was the peak tank combo in Overwatch 1. It was most fun, 100% the most fun. Always a good time. Rush was. Ask any like old Overwatch player, like season 1, 2, 3, 4. Ask any of them, they'll say the exact same thing. Dive. Again, I like the dive. I'm a big fan of comps that don't have you just sat in one spot and just basing your whole team around that. Around being in one spot the entire game. Or as long as you can. And dive is a pretty big opposite. It's pretty much saying like, hey, go dive them, go in, like don't stand still, go in. Honestly, I'm gonna put it in top tier. I loved dive. I would say it was more fun in 1 than it is 2, but still, dive was fun. That's probably the closest to this tier, but I still think it's in a great time. Double bubble. It was okay. Again, it wasn't really oppressive at all. I guess some people could find it annoying because it is kind of like two barriers, but probably the two Western. No, I'd put it in like tolerable. It wasn't fun, but like it wasn't that bad to go against. Here we go. Double barrier. Yeah, no. This was meta for way too long. This was like in the time in Overwatch 1 where we went months, like 8 or 9 months, without like any patches, any fixes, any change-ups in the meta. No, we were stuck with this for so long, and it was so painful. Cause legit, as the name implies, the entire meta was just 2 barriers, and it was these 2, cause his regen's fast, and hers came off cooldown quite fast. And it was just you cycle each barrier. If one breaks, get the other one, and then when that breaks, the next one's back. It was so unfun. You legit had to go double barrier to counter it. Like, it was not fun for either side. You were just shooting barriers for 10 minutes, sometimes more. It only kind of started to get easier when like hogs started to be a bit good in Overwatch 1, like near the end of the game. But still, no, not fun time. Double sniper. It's one of these two. I'll put it in pain. It wasn't like the worst of the worst, but like if you were in like really good lobbies, it was so hard to go against. Like again, you had to go a double barrier or at least have one good barrier. I feel like it wouldn't be as bad in Overwatch 1 because of all the barriers, but like the good Widows and the good Hanzos with the off angles, it was really hard to play against. And like again, it was mainly a problem in like the really high ranks. Like it wouldn't be that bad in like bronze or gold, you know. Thankfully for me, my peak was 3400, I believe, which would equate to diamond. I don't know honestly, like which, like diamond 2 maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I didn't get them too often, but still, when you got a good Widow and Hanzo, it was kind of annoying, honestly. Kind of annoying. Oh boy, here we go. My favorite. Yeah, no. Goats was, I'd say, the meta that broke Overwatch. I think it was the worst meta in terms of like playing against. If the other team ran goats, you had to run goats. You would just lose otherwise. You'd lose. And this was back when role queue didn't exist, so anyone could pick any role. You could have 6 tanks or 6 DPS or 6 healers. You know what I'm saying? But goats was so painful. And for those that don't know what goats was, it was 3 tanks and 3 supports. It was most of the time Ryan, Diva, Zarya, and then Lucio, Brig, and then it kind of saw between Zen and Moira. Essentially, the premise of this was no one dies. No one dies, and it's just whoever gets ult first. And half the time, that didn't even kill anyone. So there would be fights that would go on for like 5 minutes, and not a single person would die. Y'all just be racking up damage. I'm glad that they nerfed goats with role queue, because it was such a unfun time. Because if you would go a DPS, you would legit be tossing that game. You had to run goats to counter it. I don't know what's worse out of these two. This was probably worse for the game. This was probably the most unfun. Hackfist, it's pretty much as the name implies. You just hack everyone, and then Doom, as a DPS Doom, he would just kill anyone who's hacked. And yeah, it was fine. Like, it got quite annoying sometimes, but like it wasn't like game breaking. And speaking of game breaking, Moth meta. I'm kidding. Yeah, no. A Moth was one of the worst times in Overwatch. And for those who don't know Moth meta, near the start, so like 2016, 2017, Mercy's ult wasn't Valk. It was Res. But the difference was, instead of only resing one person, it could res 5 people, your entire team. And also, it wasn't like 2 or 3 seconds to res and it could get cancelled easily. No, this was instantaneous res. Press of a button, boom. They're all back. So you could have a fight go on for minutes, and all 6 of you or 5 of you use your ults, and you finally kill the other team. You finally kill them, and before you can even cap the point, here comes Mercy. zooming in and just press Alt and res the entire team. And guess what? Now you're screwed. Now you're screwed because you just use all of your alts. Oh my. Mercy had to go through like. How many changes was it? It was like 3 changes, I think. But yeah, I think her ult, while it's not like the best in the game anymore, it's still a miles just better for the game. Let's not go back, please. Neo Goats, it was pretty much after a Goats got nerfed. It was nowhere near as bad. It was okay, I guess. It wasn't awful to deal with. Roadhog 2. So I'm gonna assume this was like post double and actually not post. This was during double barrier, and Hog got buffed to kind of counter it a bit. So it was kind of your only option to counter it, besides countering it with 2 barriers. So I'll put in tolerable because it was the only option, kind of. Season 1, oh my goodness, the famous picture of the 6 Bastions and the 6 Divas, oh my goodness, that video is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. 6 of any character is just not. 6 Bastions, 6 Divas, 6 Mays, 6 Overwatch 1, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm okay, thank you. And this is when there was no limits. Sombra Goats is, as the name implies, it's just goats and you got a Sombra. Surprisingly not as bad as Goats, but still, like, it's not that fun. Triple DPS and triple tank are kind of the same thing. They were okay. Wasn't too impressive, but like this was most of your games. This, because no one wanted to play tank or support, so that's what you saw like most of your games. So yeah, that is all of them. This tier's empty. Is there any I'd move up at all? No. Actually, I'd probably, if I had to move one up, it's not any of these. Beyblade was Double Bubble, Ball Say, Ball Diva. Honestly, I'd probably put this one up here. It was fun, but it was kind of annoying. And yeah, that is the tier list. I think this is a good list. So I could do Overwatch 2, I may, but who knows? I guess we'll find out. So yeah, thank you for coming in, and yeah, have a nice day.